This week we'll be reading Parashat Naso here in Israel, and outside of Israel, Parashat Bamidbar. And therefore I thought it would be appropriate to try to glean something from Parashat Naso that actually combines us. And that, of course, is the beautiful psukim of Birkat Kohanim that we're going to be saying on Sunday. Baruch Hashem, this Sunday is Shavuos, and even Ashkenazi communities outside of Israel will be duchening, just like we do in Israel every single day, and many Sephardic communities around the world do every day. And those psukim are just so beautiful to read. Yevarechecha Hashem v'yishmerecha, God's going to bless us and watch over us. But when you read it together with the interpretation of Chazal, they actually get quadrupled in their beauty. Chazal in the Sifri, on those psukim, take every single word and give us another reward. Yevarechecha Hashem, for example, b'nechasim. V'yishmerecha, God's going to guard over you beguf, physically, and from the Yetzer Hara, v'lo yishletu acherim b'cha, and others won't be able to control you. And therefore, another medrash in Bereshis Rabbah, Parsha Mem Gimel, asks, Meheichan zachu Yisrael libirkat kohanim? What did we do so special that we get all these rewards? What was the amazing event, or the amazing accomplishment of the Jewish people, that we are privileged to all these rewards? There's three suggestions in the Medrash, and I'd like to share one with you of Rav Nechemya. Rav Nechemya Amar mi Yitzchak. We learn it from Yitzchak. The Jewish people merited the beautiful rewards of Birkat Kohanim because of Yitzchak. Shene'emar va'ani va'anar nilcha adko. Me and my son will walk up the mountain. Obviously talking about Avraham walking hand in hand with Yitzchak up to the Akedah. Says the Medrash, Lefikach amar hamakom kol tevarchu et bnei Yisrael. So the Medrash takes the word ko, vani va'anar nilcha adko, and takes the ko of kol tomru lebnei Yisrael, which is the preface and the introduction to the Birkat Kohanim, puts them together and says the Jewish people will merit all the rewards of what we say in the Duchening, the Birkat Kohanim, because Yitzchak and Avraham walked to the Akedah. The Medrash doesn't say that Yitzchak was a huge hero, actually giving himself to be put on the Akedah, but rather it says that Yitzchak and Avraham walked together. I would like to suggest humbly that Rav Nechemya is teaching us a crucial lesson. If we want to have a future which will be filled with Jewish boys and girls, men and women, families that are going to keep the Jewish lifestyle of not only halacha, but constant learning of Torah, we have to ensure that there's a relationship between the older generation and the younger generation. If the older generation constantly looks at the younger generation in despise and says, we used to work very hard, you have it easy. We have to use maps, you have ways. We used to have to struggle through a Gemara, you got Schottenstein. Then I'm pretty sure we have no future. And vice versa is true as well. If the younger generation looks at the older grandparents and says, we have nothing to do with them. They're living in their old world with their old clothing. They wear suits and ties and we're far from it. They go ahead and actually open a book. We read it on an iPad. I'm very, very concerned about the future. But if the older generation, together with the younger generation, have a relationship, learn from one another, glean insights from one another, just like there was a relationship between the elderly Avraham and the young Yitzchak, then I believe we have a beautiful future to look forward to. Perhaps that's the reason why the two most important mountains that we have in the Chumash are absolutely different in terms of their relationship to us today. One mountain is, of course, that mountain where the Akedah was, and eventually the two Batei HaMikdash were, and eventually the third Beis HaMikdash will be, Har HaMoriah or Har HaBayit. And the other is Har Sinai that we'll read about on Sunday. Har Sinai has absolutely no Kedusha, no sanctity today. As we're going to read on Sunday, Bimshocha Yovel Hema Ya'alu Vahar. The minute you heard the last shofar blow, you can go up the mountain from then to this very day. Versus Har HaMoriah, Har HaBayit, that we paskin Kitcha L'Shata v'Kitcha L'Atid Lavo. It has the same sanctity today as it did then. Rabbi Lord Jonathan Sachs once suggested, in the name of Rabbi Jacobowitz, both former chief rabbis of the UK, that Har Moriah, two people walked up, the young and the old, hand in hand. Har Sinai, on the other hand, only Moshe went up. And while the Torah he taught us is still relevant today as it was then, the actual mountain has absolutely no sanctity. If we want to ensure sanctity for the future, if we want to ensure that what we have is internal, we have to ensure that what Avraham and Yitzchak had, we will have. And that is a relationship between the young and the old. A relationship between the older generation and the younger generation. And if indeed that relationship is maintained, Be'ezrat Hashem, with God's help, we'll get all the brachos of Birkat Kohanim. And Be'ezrat Hashem, God will bless the Jewish people, as we'll say in the Hallel on Shavuos. Not only the Jewish people in Shul Yevarech et Beit Yisrael, but He'll bless us all, Haktanim, Im Hagdolim, the young together with the old.